I'd spent a few days in Austin visiting old friends. I live in Louisiana, so the trip's a bit of a haul, basically an all-day drive. On my last day in Austin, I posted a quick story to Instagram about heading home. Out of the blue, my old high school friend Tom replied, "When do you leave?" I told him, "Today." He said he lived about an hour outside of Austin, which, coincidentally, was right on my route back. I hadn't seen Tom in years. We kept in touch through social media here and there, but we hadn't actually spoken in forever. He invited me to stop by, said it'd be good to catch up. I figured, why not? I punched his address into my GPS. An hour-and-a-half drive. No big deal. Tom and I had been close in high school, inseparable even, but like so many friendships, life just kind of pulled us in different directions after graduation. When I finally pulled up to his place, the house looked nostalgic. Not run down exactly, but old. Its wooden porch groaned under my weight like it hadn't been stepped on in years. When he opened the front door, a heavy scent hit me. Aged timber, a bit musty, something almost forest-like. It reminded me of an old cabin left to time. Tom greeted me like no time had passed. Big grin, bigger hug, dragging me inside like we were still teens. Some friendships are like that, frozen in time. The inside of his house matched the outside, timeless in a slightly unsettling way. The furniture looked like something from a 1970s time capsule, and every step on the wooden floors triggered a low, tired creak. It wasn't spooky exactly, more like a place that remembered things. We settled in his living room, catching up with whiskey, Tom's forever drink. Back in the day, he was always about that Jack and Coke. It was around 5 p.m. One drink turned into two into three. Before I realized it, we were deep in that warm haze where the world slows down and you forget the time. Eventually, he said what I'd been waiting for. "Hey man, long drive ahead? You should just crash here tonight." He wasn't wrong. I was in no shape to drive. I nodded, asked if I could take the couch. "Nah," he said, "I've got a spare room." "It's nothing special, but better than the floor." Fine by me. We ordered Chinese food, and after stuffing ourselves, he led me down a short hallway to a spare bedroom. I didn't pay much attention to the details. I was drunk, exhausted, done. But I remember the air being still, like the room hadn't been disturbed in a long, long time. I collapsed onto the bed without even pulling the covers up, out cold. At some point during the night, I woke up. My mouth was dry, my head spinning. The room was cloaked in shadows, except for a slice of moonlight creeping through the blinds. That's when I noticed it. In the far corner, right by the closet door, something was hanging. At first, I figured it was a coat on a rack, a long black trench coat maybe, but as my eyes adjusted, the shape began to feel off. It wasn't draped like fabric. It had definition, a broadness across the top like shoulders, and the way it stood there, so still, so solid. It looked less like clothing and more like a presence. My heart was thudding now. I didn't remember seeing it earlier when I stumbled into bed, but maybe I just hadn't noticed. I was drunk, after all. Still, I turned away, trying to convince myself it was just a coat. But I couldn't help it. I peeked again. Still there. I shut my eyes tight, forced a slow breath, and willed myself back to sleep. Somehow, I drifted off again. Then I woke a second time. This time, it wasn't thirst or a hangover that pulled me from sleep. It was a sound, a soft, deliberate creaking, like someone walking slowly across old wooden floors. I froze. My eyes darted to the corner of the room. It was brighter now, early dawn light filtering through the blinds, and the thing was gone. That corner where the silhouette had loomed, empty. I bolted upright. The room spun with leftover alcohol and sudden fear. My breath caught in my throat. My skin buzzed. I scanned the room. Nothing. I jumped out of bed and stumbled to Tom's room. He was out cold, snoring. I shook him hard. It took a minute, but eventually he woke, groggy and confused. "The coat," I said, my voice rasping. "The one on the closet door. It looked like like something was standing there." He frowned. "What coat?" "The black trench coat, hanging in the spare room." "It wasn't right, Tom. It looked like a person, almost." Now he sat up, looking more alert. "I don't even own a trench coat, man, and there's no coat rack in that room." I stared at him, waiting for a smirk, a laugh, a confession, some clue that he was messing with me, but he stayed dead serious. "Come look," I said. He sighed and got up. We walked back down the hallway to the spare room. I pointed. "It was right there," I said, pulse still racing. Tom scratched the back of his head, clearly unsettled. He asked if maybe I'd been dreaming, still half drunk. I shook my head. "I know what I saw. I woke up. It was there. I looked again. It was gone." The silence between us stretched long, heavy. Even Tom seemed unnerved now. Finally, he nodded. "Let's check the house." We did. Every room, every closet, every corner, nothing. No signs of entry, no weird coats, no explanation. Eventually, Tom circled back to the dream theory. Said I might have been in some drunken half-sleep state. Hallucinating. I wanted to believe that. God, I did. Because the alternative... As soon as the sun was fully up, I grabbed my things, said a tense goodbye, and hit the road. The whole drive back to Louisiana, my mind spiraled, replaying the moment I woke up to that silhouette, staring at me, then gone. Maybe it was a cruel prank. Maybe Tom thought it'd be funny and just never admitted it. Or maybe, just maybe, there was someone in that house, watching me sleep, and they simply left before the light returned.